Hello, hi. So when I first became a parent, myself and my husband, we had no clue how to take care of a newborn. Zero. My husband has zero experience, like literally. I had a little bit of I had zero experience looking after taking care of a newborn or newborns, but I had some experiences from babysitting toddlers and older kids from family and friends. So I had that experience, and the main thing that I knew how to do was to change nappies or diapers, and also feeding them, making the bottle, for milk bottle. That's all I really knew, pretty much. So when me and my husband became parents, we were just like, okay, now what? So I remember myself thinking to myself, okay, so now we're gonna get discharged at some point. We're gonna go home, and we're going home with a newborn that we need to take care of. But we have no clue what to do. Like, how am I gonna breastfeed? How are we going to bath the baby? How do we hold it? All these questions. So I remember asking the midwife, um, all these questions. So can you teach us how to bath the baby, for example, because we ended up staying in the hospital for quite a while. So there was a chance for them to teach us how to bath a newborn. And they did that in front of us, and we were watching. And I remember thinking, this is so difficult. Like, newborns, they're so fragile. So I remember watching, and I was making sure my husband is also watching and paying attention. He's good at paying attention, actually. So just because I wanted him to also be fully involved, because I knew I would need help. I'll need help. And he's the closest one who can help me. He would, compared to anyone else out there who has their own, schedules, and they have their own jobs and everything and their own lives to attend to. But my husband, was there. I even had a bit of time off work to be home so he can help me. So I wanted to make sure that he is also learning. So we're both learning. We're both first-time parents. So I made sure that we're both paying enough attention, so we know by the time we get discharged and go home, we know how to take care of this newborn, because we will have to. That's what you have to do, as a parent. So I was asking how to bath the baby, and they taught us how to do it. They were bathing up. They did it in front of us. This midwife did all the all this stuff, like changing the baby, getting in the bath, bathtub, holding the baby's head, protecting the head, all that. And I was like, wow, this is, I don't know, because prior to having my own baby, I never really saw a newborn baby. I only saw a newborn baby once, and I was so scared because I couldn't believe how small newborns are. They're very small and fragile and red. And I was like, oh, you can't touch this baby because they're gonna break. Just a small touch, like just a small touch on the hand, or I thought that they're gonna break. So I was so scared. I never actually held a newborn, so I didn't know anything about how you hold and everything. So I asked midwife, how do we hold the baby? So they gave us our newborn, and they said, this is how you hold the newborn. You support the head, because obviously the head is still, it's not. Their heads are not really strong, so they keep like moving like this. Anyway, so how to support the head properly, for safety, and all that. So all those tips. So the midwife was teaching us, because my mind, I was very scared, and I knew that both of us didn't know how to do things, and I wanted to make sure that we learn everything as much as possible and in depth, so that when we get home, we know how to properly and safely look after a newborn. So I had a list of questions to ask. First, it was bathing, how to bath the baby. Second, how to hold, do we hold our baby properly? and safely? How do we, how do I breastfeed? I wanted to know and understand how to breastfeed, because I have seen women breastfeed the babies before, and it's beautiful, and I loved it. I fell in love with that, and I wanted to do that myself. But obviously I've never had a child before that, so I've never breastfed. I didn't know how to do it. And I asked the midwives, how do I do it? And they gave me a very good lady. She's a consultant. She was a consultant. She helps women how to breastfeed. And so she taught me how to breastfeed. And what I found in this is, apparently, I thought as soon as you give birth, you're going to have milk pouring out of your, breast, out of your chest. And no, I didn't have any milk coming through. And I was thinking, what's wrong? Is there anything wrong with me? Why am I not producing milk? And they said, no, you don't produce milk just yet, until 3 days later after giving birth. I was like, oh, okay. But there was something coming out. So she was teaching me how to express. So there was like this golden liquid that was coming. Not milk. It didn't look like milk, but it was just that golden thing. And she said, don't get rid of that. That is needed. Baby needs to drink that because it's very important. It's got some really good stuff in it, and that's healthy for the baby. So we're storing that fluid, and so it's just massaging, how to express, and then how to get the baby to latch on the breast. So I had to learn that, and that's what I found the most difficult part of breastfeeding. And I'll go into my breastfeeding journey in a different video. So anyway, so we learned how to feed. I learned how to breastfeed the baby because that's one thing my husband couldn't do. So that was mainly for me. And babies, newborns, I realized newborns that get hungry fast. They eat little, and then they have to eat often, like every hour, So I realized I had to breastfeed every hour, or every hour and a half, depending on how full the baby was prior to that. So I made sure I knew and understood how to breastfeed properly. Yeah. So, because I didn't want to have a crying baby or a hungry baby. Right. So that I learned very well. And every day we'll go through breastfeeding practice every day. Because like I said, we did stay in the hospital for quite a while. So every day we're practicing breastfeeding with the breastfeeding expert midwife. So that was good. I made sure that I got that, that wasn't an issue. And how to change nappies. So we all got taught how to change nappies or diapers, and how to change baby's clothes and all that, all these things, the basics, really, the main things on how to look after a newborn. And I was glad that we asked all these questions, because the thing is, the midwives didn't know we didn't know these things. Like, how could they know? They don't know us that well. They don't know what experience we have and all that. And they didn't ask us, we didn't tell them, so they don't know. So they just assume we know, but so they're just doing the job as they should. But it's just these other questions that we didn't know. So that's why I asked them, how to do this, how to do that. And I'm glad I asked those questions. And I'm glad myself and my husband were paying really good attention. And we both learned. And I wanted my husband, I didn't want to be the only one, going through the journey of looking after a newborn. I wanted him to be part of it as much as possible. Not just the holding the baby part. So when we go home, we got discharged and we went home. I made sure that my job was to breastfeed the baby every now and then, because I realized I was breastfeeding like every hour, every 1 hour, every 1 hour and a half. And thank God I was producing a lot of milk, a lot. So my baby was really, I was breastfeeding and pumping. So that was good. So as soon as I breastfeed, especially during the night shift, oh my gosh, the on-call night shift of looking after a newborn. So I would spend the whole night almost. I would literally, before we go to bed, bath the baby, breastfeed the baby, moisturize baby, put baby to sleep. And then I'll eat and I'll drink and I'll sleep. And before I sleep, I'll put alarm on my phone for 1 hour. And after 1 hour, that alarm will go off, and I wake up, and I'll go and feed my baby, because literally my baby will be looking for milk after that 1 hour. They'd be like looking for milk. So, and even during that 1 hour that I'm trying to sleep, I'm not sleeping. I couldn't sleep. My mind was like, I need to check on the baby. I kept checking on the baby every 10 minutes. I go check on the baby. Is the baby okay? Is the baby, are they hungry, or are they wet, or are they? I don't know why I was like that. I was so, I don't know, I was panicky because I was scared. This is a newborn. Never taken care of a newborn before. So I was like, I can't sleep. I have to keep watching this baby. I remember just sitting there, my baby sleeping in the baby cot next to my bed, next to mine and my husband's bed, and I would literally just lie down next to it, on my bed, watching my baby and falling asleep. I've put alarm for 1 hour. No, in 1 hour I need to breastfeed again, or maybe 1 hour and a half. I've got alarm on and I need to breastfeed. So I'll be lying there and my eyes shutting a little bit, and then waking up and just checking on the baby. Okay, they're fine. Okay, sleep again. Checking on the baby. Okay, they're fine. They're breathing. They're safe. Exactly like how, the midwives explained to us, the safety of how, how when you get home and how you should keep your baby safe. All those things I'll check every time. So I find myself not sleeping the whole night. And then once the alarm goes off, I'll get off, breastfeed, and then they've wet themselves. So I was like, I can't do all these things. So I would breastfeed, I watch my baby, and then I'll get my husband. I'll wake up my husband, both, because he had time off work. So I didn't want to do it all by myself. I'll breastfeed my baby. They waking up every 5 minutes just to check and see if the baby is okay. That I couldn't help. It was just like inbred in me. I think it's called, I don't know, it's that way they call maternal instincts. Having to check on your baby all the time. That couldn't help. I just had to keep doing that because my husband was fast asleep. Oh my gosh, he was fast asleep. He was just enjoying his sleep, and I'm like, I can't. How can he sleep? I can't. I have to wake up every 5 minutes. It was like a body clock in me, waking me up every 5 minutes to check on the baby and then sleep. And then 5 minutes later, waking up and check. And then after that 1 hour, I would, get my baby up. I'll breastfeed my baby because he'll be looking everywhere and soaking his thumbs and his fingers and just trying to cry. So I'll obviously breastfeed him. And then after that, he would have wet his nappy or diaper. I'll wake my husband up and say, baby's fed and I've burped him. So now it's your turn to change his clothes, change his, diaper or nappy. I need you to do that so I can sleep. And then I'll lie down because he knows how to do that. We've already learned that from the hospital. And I've watched him do that as well. So I felt confident that he can do it without me like watching over and telling him, no, it's not like this, it's like that. Because at first I was like, no, baby, you didn't do it like this. The midwife said you should do it like that, and like try to like manage things. But then with practice, we both knew how to do it properly, and we both trusted each other that, my husband can take care of the newborn just as much as I can. So I didn't worry. Yeah, so I would, during the night, I wake up every 5 minutes, every 1 hour, breastfeed the baby, and the rest is for my husband. I'll burp the baby, breastfeed, burp. My husband will change his nappy or diaper and dress him up and get him back in bed safely. And what I'll do, I won't sleep while he's doing all that. I'll just be lying down and then just watching what he's doing, making sure that it's all done, it's all good, and everything, baby's safe. And then I'll sleep and I'll put my alarm on again. So yeah, it was crazy. And we're learning things every day. We're learning. It was a learning curve. So I will update you on this again. I'll expand as the baby grew. I'll expand on other skills we learned along the way. And there's more to come. So stay tuned. Thank you. Take care. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.